What's up, everybody? This is a quick presentation on the article that was read and reviewed by me. So here we go. The title of the article is called Practitioners' Perspectives on Values, Knowledge, and Skills Needed by PETE Participants. All right, PETE participants by Brian McCulloch. All right, so again, my name is Andrew. All right, good to see you all. All right, so thanks for listening and thanks for watching. Here we go. So in this article, the article really aimed to extend the current theories of socialization by connecting practicing PE teachers with the teacher educators, so the ones that actually teach us at the university level and graduate level for that matter, and subsequently the future teachers that are, the undergraduates. So this really tried to take on and kind of look at the current practicing teachers in the field to kind of better understand some of the values, the knowledge, the skills required for teaching physical education and the training of what it takes to become a teacher. So basically, these teachers, not teachers, but the researchers, they wanted to know, based on the current practicing teachers, what it takes, what are the qualities necessary in order to be a successful undergraduate, a successful PE teacher at the university level, and the cooperating teachers that are involved throughout the whole process. So those of you that maybe are going through that now or that just recently went through that, you know what I'm talking about, those kind of the supervisors, if you will, that try to be the bridge between the student and the university. So that's what I mean by the cooperating teacher. So what was done? In this article, the participants, there was 18 that accepted participation in this study. They were interviewed, and those interviews were recorded and then later transcribed. The details of those interviews were then analyzed and disaggregated into common themes. So participants were randomly selected from a list and then randomly drawn, and they were selected then to, and they had the choice of whether or not they wanted to participate in the study, and we've got 18 of them that decided to move forward and participate. And good representation, kind of good spattering of elementary, middle school, and high school PE teachers. All right, so what was discovered here in the article? Basically, it looked at three different people. So the first being undergraduates and what the current PE teachers that are in public schools, what they think an undergraduate should have or should possess or should be to be successful later down the road. And one of the things is a love for physical activity. Second is be physically fit. Not saying that they have to be a triathlete or an Ironman per se, but they should be able to later down the road be able to model most of what they teach in a gym setting. Third, they should have a love for children and people. And four, be flexible and creative. And so, as we know, any of us that have been in public school, you got to roll with the punches, and things don't always go as planned. So you've got to be able to be a little flexible, be adaptable, and be creative. Sometimes we go into schools that are grossly underfunded, and as a result, we might not have very much equipment. So, what can we do with the items that we do have? How can we use maybe one piece of equipment in many different ways? All right, so creativity is another one that the participants of this study really think is of value. Next, they looked at the teacher faculty that actually teach these undergraduates, and you know what what these PEAT instructors should look like. How should they act? What are some of the qualities they should possess? And one is a love for the subject matter. They should, you know, the kind of the adage of if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. Well, these PE instructors should love what they do. There should be a total affinity for physical education. Second is a concern for the undergraduates and their development. Um, you know, they should have a genuine passion for the students that they're teaching and want the best for them, and will do what they need to do to make sure that these undergraduates are going to be successful. Third is some credibility. There needs to be instructors in there that have taught before. And those teaching experiences should be current. If you have, and I know that I had this in my undergraduate experience, where you might have an instructor that's been out of the gym, out of the classroom for a decade or more, and things rapidly change in education, especially public education. There needs to be instructors in there with current, if not, you know, ongoing work in public education. So whether that's observing and or teaching a class here and there, just to kind of keep their feet wet in public education and what's going on. So that what they're teaching at the university level is current and relevant to the undergraduates who will be entering the public education sector very soon. And last, they looked at the cooperating teachers, or those are like basically like the supervisors that kind of act as the bridge between the undergraduate student and the university. And again, I had very similar experiences to what was described in the study, where the supervisors sometimes are kind of um, um, overworked at times and stretched thin, and sometimes just don't want to be there. So there needs to be a commitment to the profession. There needs to be, these teachers should have teaching experience and be effective at what they do. And in the article, it was noted that these cooperating teachers should be interviewed. Their principals should be reached out to, when they were working. If they're not working still, their teachers, these teachers should be looked at and scrutinized and make sure that they are effective at what they do, and they should be honest people and adaptable. So those are just some of the few qualities that the teachers currently in the field think that these supervisors, cooperating teachers, should possess and should have. So, implications for this study. What does it all mean? And how do we take what was found and move it forward? So, the interviewed practitioners highly regarded being physically fit as one of the suggested attributes of undergraduates and practicing teachers. They stress this a lot. Again, not to say that you need to go out and be a Spartan racer by any means, which, man, I highly recommend. Those are fun. But the you should be fit. You should be able to, again, model most of what you do in the gym setting. PEEP members should maintain credibility by remaining active in public education. This can be ongoing observations or actually teaching a class in public school once a week or every so often. This also means that the selection process for the cooperating teacher, the supervisor, needs to be more refined and cared for. These teachers should be interviewed and observed as a teachers. Principals and colleagues should also be reached out to ask their perspectives on these candidates. Just a lot more care and time needs to be put in for these cooperating teachers. And last, kind of the one of the last messages that there needs to be a maturing period. This is kind of common throughout education. Is kind of that 5-year minimum. So we need to give teachers the maturation period, as you would, and it's going to take 5 years. With some it might take a little bit less, but probably a good rule of thumb is 5 years to really get their feet on the ground and to understand what it takes to be an effective teacher through classroom management and all the other wonderful things that we've brought up in discussion boards already in this class of being an effective teacher. So this was kind of the study. This was some of the implications of that study. I highly recommend everybody go and read this study. I think it's really valuable to what we're currently studying. And yeah, I think it's good stuff in here. All right. Well, thank you all for listening and watching. And all right, I hope you guys also enjoyed your articles as much as I did with mine. All right. Thank you.